All right, good morning, guys. So I'm going to pretty quickly review this morning's trades. Looks like there was a lot of money to be made this morning. Market did keep going up. I pulled the plug early though, only traded for about 15 minutes today, so it ended up pretty good. Let me just kind of set this up real quick. All right, so this is what I was looking at this morning. I pretty much showed up to the market 1 minute before market open, but if you look, we have invalidated a majority of the bounce. We have swept liquidity. We missed this high on ES, so that's one small reason to be bullish. However, that didn't end up playing out because I left beforehand. We did sweep these highs here on NQ, so we had a bearish liquidity sweep, validate most of the move. Everyone in this server should know that that is bearish. Um, and as far as this pivot down here, this is the only big pivot that I had aside from the pre-market low, and it is the low of September of last year, 2024. Very important you mark that out. And then we had some demand down here. Now, the demand isn't showing like it was this morning. I don't really know what's going on with it, to be honest. But this was the demand, well, at least what it looked like this morning down here. And ES demand, I didn't chart it out, but ES demand was kind of all over the place right here. It was just below this pre-market low. So this was all demand. I know where demand's at here. So first candle on market open, and I enter. No, sorry, not the first candle on market open. The second candle on market open, I go big into QQQ puts. It's very easy to see that it is way weaker than ES. And my PT, I filled just before the candle closed. My PT is NQ, big 4-hour pivot. Sorry to sneeze. So that was the first trade to put on. Pretty easy, pretty basic, just straightforward strength and weakness analysis and liquidity analysis. It was beautiful. Within a candle and a half, we got there. I didn't sell anything though. I sold once ES got to pre-market low. So I trimmed most here. Sold a ton here. I think I actually closed the entire position. I can't remember. I know I held an SPX runner. Um, I did not sell a. Yeah, no, I did not hold a KikiQ runner. So I sold the rest here. It was a nice trade. I mean, as far as futures goes, it's 100. That's over 100-point trade, which is for one mini. That's a $2,000 trade. Market is moving a ton this morning. It is glorious. As for options, it's a little less glorious, only 112%, but that's still pretty high. So right out of the gate, 112% gains on puts. Super easy. But I'm still kind of leaning bearish for NQ demand, and the trend is extremely strong. So I'm looking for a bounce, and if that bounce begins to invalidate, I will hop back into puts. However, it looks like it is NQ that is starting to flip stronger than ES. So using strength and weakness analysis, I actually filled back into SPX puts on this candle here. Now, really, I'm just looking for NQ demand. But I am half sizing these puts because, well, we are on a pivot on ES and it is pretty risky. And I want to save myself room to average down. I don't end up averaging down. I start off the trade a little bit red. Did make the correct decision. NQ is stronger than ES, which is glorious. And ES does end up dropping. So I'm like, okay, well, I didn't expect ES to be that much weaker than NQ. So at this point, ES has fallen a good amount, and NQ has not. NQ isn't even near low a day at the moment. So now I'm less adamant on NQ getting to demand. I'm more so just looking for NQ new low of day. That's kind of where my PT is going to be at. I am going to leave a single runner in if it gets there though, because I want to see if NQ still gets to that demand. But it misses it again. Look how much weaker ES is. It's beautiful. And then finally, NQ ends up getting it, and I take profits on SPX puts. At the end of this candle and start, and kind of halfway into this candle is when I sell. This was a huge trade as well. I mean, 67 ticks on ES. Multiply that by 5. That's what, 335 ticks ish. Maybe that's good math. I don't know. On NQ. So that's almost, I mean, as far as the candles go, well, let's actually do it for real. Um, it got to 80 ticks, which is 400 ticks on NQ. So 80 ticks on ES is the same, or 20 points on ES is the same as 100 points on NQ. My QQQ puts, after 100 points, got 100% gains. These SPX puts only hit like 35% gains. That was really disappointing. And I was only half size in the trade, so it wasn't necessarily a big green trade. It was a big trade price action wise. I mean, that's a huge trade. Um, but yeah, the puts just didn't move much, unfortunately. So I personally only got 30% on this trade. At this point, I only had a single runner left, looking for NQ demand. And as it started bouncing, I closed my runner, not here, right into the next candle when the selling wick invalidated. There you go. Right here. Now you're all right. Called it there. So it ended up being a pretty good morning. I mean, I locked in 30% gains on that trade. That was a smaller size trade. And then QQQ, I got 112%, and I didn't sell a single contract under 100% gains on that trade. So usually with my 100% trades, I already trimmed a bunch anywhere from 20 to 40%, and 100 is just the rest. QQQ was a little different. I didn't sell a single contract under 100%, which most of you guys should not have, because, I mean, these 3 black crows you can't sell during this. But yeah, it was a really good morning, very quick. I did all that and just, I mean, I was done trading realistically within 15 minutes and closed my runner at the 20-minute mark. So it was a very good morning. But with that being said, does anyone have any questions on today's TA? And after that, we were in a bearish trend. I wasn't really bullish. Now, if I did stay, I would have entered calls roughly, if not here, definitely here for this PT, because I said in the pre-market analysis that I just did in front of you guys that I'm bullish for it to get there. And it looks like it did get there, which was beautiful. So I left one trade on the table, but I don't really care. I made the money I wanted to make, hit my daily goals, and I peaced out. Plus, when that happens and I decide I want to continue trading, I don't continue alerting, because alerting is a pain in the ass. So I don't alert absolutely every trade I do. Where did the PT for that current ES short come from? It was NQ demand, and then it got moved to NQ new low of day, Rikai. Any other questions whatsoever? No? All right. Well, as you guys know, I am starting the live futures trading again this week. It is exclusive to premium. I'm not going to be live streaming it on YouTube. I'm never going to have live trading days in free stage. Not going to be doing that. So we're starting that this Wednesday and probably doing it every single day. But keep in mind, trading completely different strategy. Sometimes my trades, my Friday's trade lasted an entire 3 hours, right? And until it liquidated at the end of after hours. So the live trading isn't going to be like it used to be. There's not going to be a ton of analysis. There's not going to be a ton of talking. I'll talk when it's relevant, but mostly I'm going to be reading during that time, hanging out on my phone, doing whatever. And you guys can come hang out, ask questions, send in your analysis trades that you're doing, whatever. But really, I'm just live trading to keep myself around my computer while I'm trading, so I focus a bit more than I have been. 1300 Eastern, that is correct, FEMA. I will be in voice. I'll try to be in voice 5 minutes before that, though. But all right, that is it. So what I'll do is I'll save this recording, post it to YouTube as per usual, and I'll let you guys know when it's posted. And in about 30 minutes, we do have our live back testing. So we'll be doing that for about 30 minutes in 30 minutes, and that'll be happening in premium stage as well. So I hope to see you guys there. And yeah, good luck if you continue to trade, and I will see you guys soon.